Hi, this is Chris Sparrow from LiquidMetrix. Do you care about volatility when you're trading? If so, how do you measure the volatility that's occurring in the market while you're trading? Sometimes we'll call this intraday volatility. If you're interested in this topic, stay tuned because I'm going to take you through an analysis on how to compute intraday volatility. Okay, so what we want to do now is take a look at some of the details of the calculation that goes into the intraday volatility. So in order to do that, I'm going to use the R programming tool, which you can see here. And the first thing we're going to do is we'll take a look at this query up here. And what we're doing is we're going to select the time, price, trade size, and venue for every trade that we see for a particular symbol. In this case, we're picking APHA, and we're looking between the market open in GMT on May 28th to the close. So this is going to be a typical time series of price. We run this. I'm going to show that in this chart over here. And now we can see what the price is as a function of time throughout the trading day. And we can see that this stock on this day is fairly volatile, ranging from just over $10.30 to just below $9.60. Okay, so this shows us the price action on the day. We may also be interested in the volume distribution, so I'll just recompute that here. That's this chart. This shows how much volume occurs as a function of time. Okay, so the time axis here is the same as what we see here. And we can see how much volume has occurred within, in this case, each 30-minute bid. So we're bidding all the volume up into 30-minute increments, and we're adding that all up. So we're capturing all the price changes here, and we're just capturing that volume. And that can be very useful to see as a function of time. What does that volume profile look like? But we're going to go a step further and take a look at what the actual intraday volatility is, and that's a slightly different distribution. So to do that, we'll take a look here at this query, and what we're going to do is we're going to bin now the price. So this chart is binning how much volume as a function of time, so we're binning time. This query, let me just run it, is going to bin based on price. So if I do that, now I get a distribution that looks like this, and I can see for every different price how much volume occurred at that particular price. Okay, we can then take the mean of this distribution, and because this is a volume versus price distribution, the mean of this distribution is going to be our volume weighted average price, which is a benchmark. The standard deviation can be characterized as an intraday volatility. Now, in order to take a look at that, we're going to switch to a different tool, so we'll do that now. Okay, now we've switched tools. We're using an online tool. This is part of the research suite, and what we've done here is we've got the same chart that we saw back in R. The red curve here, this is a fitted Gaussian that has the same mean and standard deviation as our price volume distribution. Now, it's the standard deviation, the width of this distribution, that we can use to characterize our intraday volatility. What this intraday volatility shows us is real transacted volume that occurs at various different price points throughout the life of the order. Now remember, we saw what the price was doing, we saw what the aggregated volume was doing. This is looking over the entire day now and showing how much volume occurs at each of those price points. And that's really this blue bar distribution is really the opportunity set that we would have had in interacting with the market, trying to execute the order. If we go over to this chart, what we can see is a time series of intraday volatility. So each point here represents the standard deviation of this distribution. So we can look at, maybe we'll look at a day that's got a relatively low intraday volatility. So we could look at January 4th is a quiet day, but let's look at January 17th. We can go back here to our tool. We can go pick January 17th, and this is going to update. And we can see that the distribution is not as wide as what we saw on the May 28th. So if we want to switch back to May 28th, okay, so here we're going from about 850 to 875, so about a 25-cent change on the 28th of May. We're going from 960 up to around 1030, so that's a much wider price distribution, and we can see that this point here is on the high side of the trend, but certainly not as volatile as it was back in November and the early part of 2019. So just to wrap up, what we've done here is we've shown a way that we can compute intraday volatility really for any time range. What I've shown here is a full day volatility, but certainly we can compute the intraday volatility that occurred during the life of the order that was being worked. And you can use that to handicap the difficulty of the order. Many different things we can do with this. One of the key things is to characterize the liquidity characteristic of a stock, so that when we're trying to apply machine learning algorithms to do things like predict market impact, we can study how intraday volatility may affect that market impact. So any questions, please contact me at the information provided below, and we'll look forward to next time. Thanks.